Dear Esther, I sometimes feel as if I've given birth to this island. Somewhere between the longitude and latitude, a split opened up, and it beached remotely here. No matter how hard I correlate, it remains a singularity, an alpha point in my life that refuses all hypothesis.
Hi, Dottie.
I return each time leaving fresh markers that I hope, in the full glare of my hopelessness, will have blossomed into fresh insight in the interim.
Okay. Oh, that's probably not good. I didn't think it'd let me go into the water. Okay, so automatically turns on the flashlight. No instruction whatsoever on what you start with. Okay. Can I interact with anything? Okay, so far the only thing I can get my buttons to do is to zoom in and zoom out a little bit. I think I'm so confused. Can we run? No, I can just walk slowly.
Donnelly reported the legend of the hermit, a holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude. At night, you can see the lights sometimes from a passing tanker or trawler. From up on the cliffs, they are mundane. But down here, they fugue into ambiguity. For instance, I cannot readily tell if they belong above or below the waves. The distinction now seems banal. Why not everything and all at once? There's nothing better to do here than indulge in contradictions whilst waiting for the fabric of life to unravel. I have found the ship's manifest, crumpled and waterlogged under a stash of paint cans. It tells me that along with this present cargo, there was a large quantity of antacid yogurt bound for the European market. It must have washed out to sea. God knows there are no longer gulls or goats here to eat it.
I think I'm going to end up accidentally drowning myself before this game is done.
The mount is clearly the focal point of this landscape. It almost appears so well placed as to be artificial. I find myself easily slipping into the delusional state of ascribing purpose, deliberate motive to everything here. Was this island formed during the moment of impact? When we were torn loose from our moorings and the seatbelts cut motorway lanes into our chests and shoulders, did it first break surface then? When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, They cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh. I quote directly, a motley lot with little to recommend them. I have now spent 3 days in their company. That is, I fear, enough for any man not born amongst them. Despite their tedious inclination to quote scripture, they seem to me the most God-forsaken of all the inhabitants of the Outer Isles. Indeed, in this case, the very gravity of that term, forsaken by God, seems to find its very apex. It appears to me that Donnelly, too, found those who wander this shoreline to be adrift from any chance of redemption. Did he include himself in that, I wonder?
I'm gonna get to the top of the mountain. It doesn't seem to want to let me. Every time I think I'm almost there, it starts leading me down again.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life. I threw my arms wide and the cliff opened out before me, making this rough home. I transferred my belongings from the bothy on the mount and tried to live here instead. It was cold at night, and the sea lapped at the entrance at high tide. To climb the peak, I must first venture even deeper into the veins of the island, where the signals are blocked altogether. Only then will I understand them, when I stand on the summit and they flow into me, uncorrupted.
Seems like a lighthouse, too. It was a teaser. I thought I was going to get somewhere, but the cave ended.
I've become convinced I am not alone here, even though I'm equally sure it is simply a delusion brought upon by circumstance. I do not, for instance, remember where I found the candles, or why I took it upon myself to light such a strange pathway. Perhaps it is only for those who are bound to follow.
I'm not used to not having like a run button. Like I want to be able to run, go faster, but something, I want to interact with stuff. I'm starting to feel like the game is just to progress through a story. Just walk around and listen. Oh,
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services. But although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
I wonder if I missed anything. Just realized. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna climb the rocks. get on the boat.
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived? I had kidney stones, and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
So I'm going the right way to go towards the lighthouse. Really wanted to get on the boat, though. Didn't let me.
I've begun my ascent on the green slope of the western side. I've looked deep into the mountain from the shaft and understood that I must go up and then find the way under. I will stash the last vestiges of my civilization in the stone walls and work deeper from there. I'm drawn by the aerial and the cliff edge. There is some form of rebirth waiting for me there.
What was done here?
bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either. Inventory. A trestle table we spread wallpaper on in our first home. A folding chair. I laughed at you for bringing camping in the lakes. I was uncomfortable later and you laughed then. This diary, the bed with the broken springs. Once asleep you have to remember not to dream. A change of clothes. Donnelly's book, stolen from Edinburgh Library on the way here. I will burn them all on the last morning and make an aerial of my own.
I kind of feel like something's gonna jump out at me at any moment. Even though I know this isn't supposed to be a horror game, it really feels like something's gonna jump out at me at any moment.
What to make of Donnelly, the laudanum and the syphilis? It is clearly not how he began, but I've been unable to discover if the former was a result of his visiting the island or the force that drove him here. For the syphilis, A drunk driver smashing his insides into a pulp as he stumbled these paths, I can only offer my empathy. We're all victims of our age. My disease is the internal combustion engine and the cheap fermentation of yeast.
Oh. Did he accidentally kill his wife by drunk driving? Is that what the whole thing's about?
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. He'd struggled halfway down the cliff path, perhaps looking for some lost goat, or perhaps in a delirium, and expired, curled into a claw right under the winter moon. Even the animals shunned his corpse. The mainlanders thought to bring it home unlucky. Donnelly claims they dragged it to the caves to thaw out and rot, but he is proving an unreliable witness. Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
Where's the candle he was talking about? Of course, it wouldn't be burning still, would it? Do I go down the hole? I'm gonna go down the hole. I'm sure I'm gonna regret that. Oh, okay.
From here, this last time, I have understood there is no turning back. The torch is failing along with my resolve. And hear the singing of the sea creatures from the passages above me, and they are promising the return of the gulls.
Do I go ahead and drop down, or do I go around the other way? Let's see what's the other way before I drop down.
There is no other direction, no other exit from this motorway. Speeding past this junction, I saw you waiting at the roadside, a one last drink in your trembled hands.
It wasn't anything else. Good job. I should probably change mine. I joined it earlier to stop building now. I think I'm lost. I feel like I might be going back the way I came. No, this is... Okay. Do all entrances lead here? Let's do it. I drown. Am I going to drown? Nope, I didn't drown. Do I go this way? Let's go this way. Is this the same place I went down before, or is this somewhere different? I feel like that's the same place I went to before.
If the caves are my guts, this must be the place where the stones are first formed. The bacteria phosphoresce and rise, singing through the tunnels. Everything here is bound by the rise and fall, like a tide. Perhaps the whole island is actually underwater.
Do I go up or down? I kind of feel like I want to go down. Even though part of me just wants out of these caves now. Kind of regret not going up to the lighthouse. You think up? You don't think I should go more into the valley? Okay, fine, I'll go up. I actually was going up, and then I started to fall, and I was like, okay, I might as well just go ahead and go down, since part of me wanted to go down. But fine, I'll go back up. Are you saying this because you know the game, or just because you think I should go up? I said I wanted to do both, but then I fell, and I was like, okay, well then it must have been just the thing, but now I'm already going up, so... I don't know that I can. I mean, I don't know that I can go anywhere up. Now I have to see, I have to finish this down up. I have to finish it.
I'm not going back down just for you to turn around and tell me to go back up. Now I'm curious on this one. Do I go left or right? I feel like this is going to be a dead end. I'm going to try. Yeah, it won't let me go through it. The hole's too small. Okay.
I will hold the hand you offered to me, from the summit down to this well, into the dark waters where the small flowers creep for the sun. Headlights are reflected in your retinas, moonlit in the shadow of the crematorium chimney.
Okay, so now I can go up here, or I suspect I can fall into this puddle. I'm curious. Told you, I'm probably going to end up drowning before the end of this game. There's just something about going into the water. I kind of feel like I might have wanted to go down. Just because I feel like that's like a dead end, but I don't know. It's probably one of those things that you have to play the game multiple times to get everything. And it's weird because it's like, okay, it kind of looks like natural until you look closer at it. And they're actually like, it's actually like someone painted. Look, there's that chemical symbol thing again. Away from being a city. And it shall be a ruinous heat. Oh, there was another one. I kind of want to, because I didn't realize that they were connected together. I do wish I could run. I so wish I could sprint. Because when I first started going, it said something, and I kind of like semi-read it, but didn't read it out loud. Because it just looked like it was just some random thing. Oh, I think it might be ad break. So I'm going to come back here so I can find beginning of that and then take a BRB. Okay, that's not too far. Okay, I am going to take a BRB because I think it's ad break, unless I missed the ad break. It's a possibility. But I'm going to take a quick BRB. Okay, and I'm back. Okay, so where was I going? I think I was going this way. I was trying to see the other part. There's writing on the wall that says coming in. I think I missed it. I think I might have been farther back, but I'm not going any farther back than that. Did I go the wrong way? This was the way I was going before, right? I feel like I went back that far. Oh, here it is. Okay, well. I don't know where the other ones are, so we'll just go with it. It shall be a ruinous heap away from being a city. They really were descending into madness, weren't they? They or me. What's this? Behold. Behold. What? Something is taken? Miko, that's not yours. Okay. Oh, I think I went the wrong way. Okay. I did. I got turned around. I went the wrong direction. Okay, so either direction leads me to go into the water, so we're gonna go. Did I go somewhere new? I can't tell. Feel like it. Yeah. Oops. Well, I guess I'm going down the hole. I was trying to go around it. Oh, this is different. It's like a flashback.
Oh, right back to where it came from. Oh, look, it's nighttime.
The moon over the Sanford Junction, headlights in your retinas. Donnelly drove a grey hatchback without a bottom. All the creatures of the tarmac rose to sing to him. All manner of symbols crudely scrawled across the cliff face of my unrest. My life reduced to an electrical diagram. All my gulls have taken flight. They will no longer roost on these outcrops. The lure of the moon over the Sanford Junction is too strong.
What, the car wreck?
Dear Esther, I find each step harder and heavier. I drag Donnelly's corpse on my back across these rocks, and all I hear are his whispers of guilt, his reminders, his burnt letters, his neatly folded clothes. He tells me I was not drunk at all.
I'm wondering if he's actually Donnelly. And he's just talking like it's its own guilt speaking. We want to keep going this way. I think we want to keep going. Okay. So light has something. Small campus this way.
Hall by the roadside, by the exit for Damascus, all ticking and cooled, all feathers and remorse, all of these signals routed like traffic through the circuit diagrams of our guts, those badly ridden boats torn bottomless in the swells, washing us forever ashore.
It's a light from heaven shone around him. Okay. I kept figuring it out.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink. Come back.
Oh, that was an actual achievement to drown. I actually did drown. I mean, it made it seem like I was supposed to go in there. I mean, at least I know that that is something the game encourages you to do, I guess. I was curious if I could. Now I guess I know I can. On a sudden, a light from heaven shone around him, and he fell to the ground. Is that like a nest? He's got it surrounded with candles? You know, there's a part of me that thinks like this whole thing is just a delusion and he's by the side of the, like he's still in the car wreck that he's talking to her about. Like he's in a coma or something.
A sound of torn metal, teeth running over the edge of the rocks, a moon that casts a signal as I lay pinned beside you, the ticking of the cooling engine, and the calling from a great height, all my mind as a bypass. I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
Okay, and as he was proceeding on his journey, I want to go that way, but I want to go this way. I think I'm going this way. He was coming near to, what's that? I can't tell what that last word is. Coming near to, I don't know, I'm gonna have to just move on. And he, oh, they're on both sides. Okay.
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
Okay, and he was 3 days without sight. And neither did he eat nor drink. Make myself louder. Okay. Let's see. I don't know. I might have to make the game quieter instead then, because I don't know. See, that's not going to go any louder here. I can try a little bit there. Let's see. Is that any better? Yes, no? Oh, did I have to do that one with the when we did it the other time? I actually have to go in here. Yeah. Okay. Is that better? Okay. Okay. I really want to get up to that light, but I keep
The
getting
stones
distracted.
in my stomach will weigh me down and ensure my descent is true and straight. I will break through the fog of these godforsaken pills and achieve clarity. All my functions are clogged, all my veins are choked. If my leg doesn't rot off before I reach the summit, it will be a miracle. There are 21 connections in the circuit diagram of the anti-lock brakes. There are 21 species of gull inhabiting these islands. It is 21 miles between the Sandford Junction and the turnoff for home. All these things cannot, will not be a coincidence. Maybe it came to pass. I can't see the last word because I can't quite get the right angle, but it would make sense. And it came to pass that as time... No. As I made, okay.
the journey. And was something I can't tell. I can't tell those. Something new? That's shown from a great light round about me, maybe shown about me, around me. Like, I'm almost starting to think this is supposed to be a distraction where you just fall yourself off the cliff and not see.
A gull perched on a spent bonnet, sideways, whilst the sirens fell through the middle distance and the metal moaned in grief about us. I'm about this night in walking, old bread and gull bones, old Donnelly at the bar gripping his drink, old Esther walking with our children, old Paul as ever, old Paul. He shakes and he shivers and he turns off his lights alone.
The glory that light being led by the hand of men. Of them. Okay. I want to just stop reading them because they're so hard to read, but I can't seem to stop myself. It's Demarcus is that the word that I kept not being able to read. It was the name.
We will leave twin vapor trails in the air, white lines etched into these rocks. Dear Esther, I have burnt my belongings, my books, this death certificate. Mine will be written all across this island. Who was Jakobsen? Who remembers him? Donnelly has written of him, but who was Donnelly? Who remembers him? I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him. There will be another to these shores to remember me, rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an aerial, a beacon, that they will not forget you. We have always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jacobson flying beside me. They will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland, where help will be sent. Come back.
I wonder, because it doesn't say chapter one, chapter two. So I wonder if it's just kind of like what areas you explore, depending on what chapters that you get. I have to check at the beginning and see. It's kind of disappointing they have music throughout the whole game and they didn't put music to their ending credits. Like they kept their credits silent. I should usually like to let credits play, but my goodness. Did my stream restart? Interesting. Well, hmm. So, I don't know. I'm curious just how much of it I got done. I don't know if I'll do the rest of it on stream or not. But I am curious, so once the credits are done, I'm gonna check to see, yeah, the rest of the. Let's see. So which ones did I? Okay, so I got. Okay, oh, it looks like I got it all. Because there were 4 chapters. Yeah. So the only other thing would be director's commentary, which I don't know that I'd want director's commentary in a game. Like, maybe for some people they would. And I'm sure there's more places that you can kind of explore, but yeah. Okay, so... Okay. Bye, everybody.